Welcome to today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Expert advice on improving your home from the pages of today's Homeowner magazine and professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
This week we'll take a look at a situation that I run across all the time as a remodeler. These homeowners have been in this house a number of years and love the neighborhood and like the house. All they need to make it complete is a new master bathroom and more closet space in their master bedroom. We've accomplished that by adding a small addition on the rear of the house and removing some existing closets in their bedroom to make it appear much larger. But before anything took place, we had to deal with some severe foundation problems. We'll show you how we overcame that, and we'll visit a plumbing showroom to show you some of the things that you need to consider with selecting plumbing fixtures for a new bathroom. We've got a full show, so stay with us here on today's Homeowner. Welcome back. As you can see, the framers have been able to complete their part of the work on building the 170 square foot addition. Now we're ready for the brick masons and the painters to come in and complete the rest of the work. Now let me show you the design that we came up with to create the bathroom and the closet that was needed by these homeowners. This is the original back part of the house, the back wall of the house, and this is where we built the addition to extend out 10 feet by 17 feet. Now there was a small closet in the corner of the master bedroom. We removed that to give more room in the bedroom and then created a good access into the new closet. Now we'll put a double rod on one side and a single rod on the other side and a little cubicle or shelf section at the end of the closet. Now the bathrooms, very much like most of the master bathrooms we're building nowadays, with two vanities, two sinks in the vanity, and in the toilet area, and then a 3 foot by 3 foot shower that's adjacent to the Whirlpool tub. And of course we'll put a glass panel between the two to give a good spacious feeling in the bathroom. And we were able to work in several windows, one that we relocated and a new transom window that'll be up over the tub to give some good natural light into that area. Now before any foundation work could start on the new addition, we had to address a fairly severe settling problem with the existing house and its foundation. What actually had happened over the years, there were a couple problems that we found that caused the problems that we're having to deal with here. The first one is all of the rain coming off all of these roof areas, coming down into the backyard, really had no place to go. Plus over the years, the adjacent homeowners had built their properties up with landscaping, sod work, fill dirt, caused a water trap in this yard. The water has to go somewhere, and we had found in looking around the perimeter of the slab a number of cracks and holes where the water was penetrating under this area. It caused a void under these slabs, caused them to settle. Another problem that really amazed us when we were doing the demolition of this bathroom behind us, when we removed a 5-foot tub inside, we found that the actual drain line had never been hooked up properly. So amazingly, over all of the years, where this house is probably 20 years old, that water from the bathtub was going under the slab, created a large void, again causing settling in this part of the house. Really, considering that this is as old as it is, it's amazing that there's not more damage with the foundation than we found. But now in order to correct these problems, we had to bring in a foundation specialist. First thing he did was to dig a series of holes around the perimeter of the house at the footing area. He poured a large slab, thick slab, about 2 feet thick. After curing for 2 or 3 days, he was able to bring in a series of jacks. Now his hydraulic jacks were able to lift the house back up to a good reasonable level, but not exactly level, because we were fearful that we would have a lot of ceramic cracking problems in the bathrooms, both upstairs and downstairs. So we brought it up to a point to allow him to install some large 6-inch steel pipes vertically from the new foundation up under the old foundation to really stabilize it. That way in the future there shouldn't be any other problem with the settling. And we're able to backfill that and start the foundation. Now naturally, some grading will have to be done in this area to discourage the water from penetrating around this and causing it again, but we're addressing that later in the job. Inside, we found several other problems. We were able to save a window earlier in the project. We're going to install it here later. Right now we're leaving the bottom framing out to give access into the addition instead of having to go through the house. That makes the homeowners a lot happier. Carpenters are involved in building the cradle for the new Whirlpool tub that'll be installed a little bit later. Now, one of the problems that we ran into, you know, when you're doing demolition, you're bound to find something you didn't expect. Well, this is one of the first ones that we found. It's condensation lines and drain lines from a downstairs unit that route to the outside condenser unit. What we'll have to do, as you can see, they've started with their small jackhammer creating a trench down in here so that the drain line that's gravity fed will position and recess down in there. We'll patch over this with concrete. Then we'll be removing all of the rest of this to allow this closet area to encroach into the former bathroom. Now that'll make this bathroom a half bath by eliminating the bathtub, but it'll also create a real nice closet for the master bedroom. Now stay with us, and when we come back, we'll show you more about this addition.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair pro Alan Lyle show you this week's simple solution.
Alan, I see situations like this all the time. We have a large roof area, allows that rain to just drop right in front of the entryway.
That's right, but we've got a very simple solution for it. We're going to install a rain diverter. If you take a look, you folks at home, at the design of this, you'll see how it works. Here's the pitch of your roof. The water is going to be running down this angle here. As it hits right at the end, you'll notice the angles that are designed in this. It won't even allow that water to splash out. We'll run it off on either side, won't be a problem anymore.
And it's a lot easier to install than guttering. Let's show them.
All right.
Okay, here we go. All right. Here's your flat bar.
Thank you. Okay, now if you're going to be doing this at home, flat bar is one of the best tools you can get. You're going to need to loosen the shingles where you're going to put this rain diverter. So let me stick this under. Sun heats those up a little bit. Once you get them loose, we're going to slide that diverter. You can come behind me there, Danny.
Okay.
And slide the diverter underneath. All right. All right, we've got it in place. What do you think, Danny? We want to put a tilt on this one or not?
Yeah, I think we should go in that direction with it. So
okay.
Lower it down just a little. Okay. All right, great. All right, you ready
right.
for your first nail?
Ready for first nails. If you'll hold the shingles up for me. Now, one thing you got to notice, it may bounce on you a little bit. That's all right. Once you get it in, you're ready to move on down the line.
After you've driven the nails in, it's a good idea to use a good quality asphalt sealer just to seal over the top of the nail. Just use just a little bit of it there that you just tap down over it. This will also help to seal the shingle back down to the metal. Now after this rain diverter is installed, it'll really help to keep any of the rain off your guest's head when they come to visit. Well, work is progressing real well on this bathroom, and we're at the point where some of the plumbing fixtures are being installed. We're also at the point where a lot of damage can occur to these fixtures if precautions are not taken. Now fortunately, on most Whirlpool tubs, it comes with a plastic protective covering which helps some in keeping it clean. But to really prevent damage, it's a good idea to put some half-inch foam board on top of it. Also, a piece of plywood helps a lot in case anyone has to stand in this area. Now it's real important to select things such as a Whirlpool very early because it can define a lot of the space that you have to work with in a bathroom. Also, fixtures such as the shower valve has to be selected very early because it's installed by the plumber inside the walls before the drywall is installed. Also, things such as some of your finished fixtures, such as this tub spout that'll be installed, are important to select early because this allows the framer to frame around the area that the plumber will need to hook this spout up a little bit later. Now there's a lot to choose from and a lot to consider when you're selecting plumbing fixtures for a bathroom. And earlier this week we visited a plumbing showroom to give you an idea of some of the things you need to consider. A showroom allows you to see sinks and lavatory faucets in more of a realistic setting that's similar to your own bathroom at your house, instead of having to select these fixtures out of a catalog. Now, Angela Ford helps homeowners all the time make what can be some difficult selections on these fixtures. Angela, when a homeowner comes down to see you, what should they bring with them?
Well, Danny, the most important thing for them to bring would be their set of house plans. And the reason why this is so important is because we're going to sit down with that homeowner and we're going to go room to room. We're going to see what plumbing fixtures and faucets they're going to need. We're going to look at the size and the style of the bathroom, and that will enable us to make suggestions that are going to fit that customer's personality. Another thing that's very important too is that when you're building a home, normally you're cutting out pictures from magazines and catalogs. The customer needs to bring that in also because that helps us to get an idea of what their tastes run.
Okay, budget has to be considered too. I know that really guides a lot of the decisions in selecting the fixtures.
Yes, it certainly does. It's very important for us to know what the allowance is because it helps us as a guideline in guiding the customer in the direction they need to be going in. Because if you just come in here and you don't know what your builder allowance is, you can just spend way too much real soon. So it helps us to know.
That can be some of those surprises you hate to have along
Exactly.
a construction project. And allowances are in almost any construction contract. It's an amount of money that's set aside for the selection of, say, plumbing fixtures, lighting fixtures, or carpet or vinyl, anything along these lines that require a selection. Now, you can easily exceed this amount, which is okay, but just be prepared to pay a little bit more on that final payment. Now, of course, you're working not only with homeowners, but many times interior decorators, architects, and maybe even plumbers sometimes.
Yes, we do. We work with all phases of the project. We'll work with architects, interior designers, plumbing contractors, and contractors. We'll a lot of times we'll spec the actual faucets before the customer even gets the in set of plans. We have architects that come in and do that all the time.
Okay, good. That's a good way to do it. And of course, some of the advantages with having a plumbing showroom is, as I mentioned earlier, you can see things in a little better setting than just a catalog. But what are some of the other advantages?
Well, probably the most important advantage that I feel is that when you come into a showroom, you get that one-on-one with one person. That person starts your job and they finish your job. So you develop a relationship with that customer. And the advantage for the customer is that we handle all of their problems from start to finish.
Good. That's good to have that one person to handle right up from the ordering and ensuring the delivery, all of that. But you know, a lot of times when people come into a showroom like this, they may be surprised that they can actually pick out cabinet hardware and other accessories.
They certainly can. Just about all of the faucet companies now have coordinating towel bars and accessories as well as cabinet hardware. So when you make your lavatory and kitchen faucet selections, right then and there, you can go ahead and pick out your accessories and your cabinet hardware for a look of continuity throughout your whole home.
Great. Angela, I appreciate you spending a few minutes. And as you can see, there's a lot to consider when you're selecting everything necessary for a bathroom remodeling. So make sure you plan to spend some good time on these selections. Next, our Best New Product segment.
It's time to check out the Home Center for this week's Best New Product with Danny and today's Homeowner Magazine's Editor-in-Chief, Paul Spring.
Paul, I know each year when you and your editors sit down and start looking for the best new products, you're not only looking for innovative products, but also very homeowner-friendly products, and steel wool fits that category.
You're exactly right, Danny. This is Nixan Power Wool, and it's a great idea. One of those, why didn't I think of that? It's regular old steel wool like you use in the household, except you can put it under the bottom of your power sander and let the machine do the work.
Now, how does this attach to your disc sander?
Well, there are a couple of different ways. It depends on the sander you own. With random orbit sanders, there are really two choices. The first is a hook and loop situation like this. The other is a self-adhesive, where you peel back and actually attach it to the bottom.
Okay. Now, of course, almost every homeowner has a finishing sander, a small handheld finishing sander, and I know that this is also available in sheets that'll fit that, both on the different applications that you have as well as the adhesive. And I guess all of this comes in different coarseness or grades.
Exactly right. It all depends on the work you're doing. If you're trying to get the corrosion off an old iron gate, you'll probably want to use single lot steel wool, which is pretty rough, all the way to quadruple lot, which is very, very fine. Probably you'll be using that on a finish in woodworking projects.
Okay, all right, great. Well, if you have painting on your list this weekend, think about this product because it's great for sanding in between coats or just roughing up the surface so that the paint will adhere well. Well, all of the plumbing fixtures that were selected by the homeowners have been installed in this new bathroom, and I really like the way the plumber arranged the tub fixtures here. He's got the spout out front, of course, and he's put the diverter back in the corner here and the hot and cold valves on either side. Now, what the diverter does, it allows you to divert the water from the spout to your handheld shower wand. Now, you know, a shower wand like this is a great accessory to have on a large tub. Of course, it allows you to shampoo your hair a lot easier, but also it allows you to keep the tub a lot cleaner by having the ability to really move that water around. Now, another thing that's nice about these fixtures is it combines the chrome finish and the polished brass finish. This makes it a lot easier to accessorize a bathroom, not having to stay with just one finish like this. Now, if you've got a new tub like this, it's a good idea, if it's a Whirlpool, to fill it up a couple times before you actually use the tub, and maybe put about a cup of dishwashing liquid in it to help clean out the lines, or maybe a little residue from the factory assembling the tub. This will be a good way to clean it out. Now, I mentioned about accessorizing the bathroom. You can see how they've used actual polished brass on the towel rods, even though the other fixtures are mostly chrome. Works real well. Also, if you have a situation where one of the members of the family may have a little hard time getting in and out of the tub, a grab bar is a great thing to put adjacent to a large tub like this. But when you install one, make sure you're attaching it real well to the framing members of the wall so that it'll be good and secure. Also, design-wise, anytime you have a chance to put a clear glass panel between a shower and a tub, it really opens up the floor plan and the feel of the bathroom. Now, inside this cultured marble shower, we've been able to recess a shampoo soap holder. Looks real nice in the back of the shower, and we've used a scald guard low profile type of shower valve with the same type of combination of chrome and brass. Now, the toilet that was selected by the homeowners is a wheelchair accessible type, which means it's a little taller than a normal toilet. Now, these have become more and more popular since they look a lot less institutional than they have in the past. Now, another good thing to do anytime you can get a large mirror in a bathroom like this really adds to the spacious feeling of it. Now, I really like the way the installers installed this particular mirror in using a mastic or adhesive instead of a clip that may be visible around the perimeter of the mirror. Also, the homeowner did a great job in selecting her light fixtures that really go well with the rest of the bathroom. Now, we were able to work two separate sink areas in this vanity. The vanity top, which is a cultured marble, situates on top of some painted birch cabinets. Now, because we used the cultured marble, it allowed us the opportunity to put in some integrated bowls that are all part of the actual pour of the marble. This is what we call a soap ring oval. And again, the selection on the lavatory faucets just look great. As I mentioned earlier in the show, a large walk-in closet was part of this addition. Now, this walk-in closet is about 8 by 8, has plenty of room for shelving, sweater racks, shoe racks, and an arrangement of double rods and single rods. Now, there was an existing closet in this room as well, but it was only about 2 feet deep. We were able to increase that by a number of feet by removing a tub that was in an existing bathroom back behind that area. Actually converted that bathroom into a powder room, perfect for the guests when they come over and visit. Next, we'll take you around the yard.
Now for a bit of news from the great outdoors as Danny takes a look around the yard.
No matter what part of the country you live in, having weeds in your yard can be a problem. Now, as simple as it is, if you remove the weeds while they're young, before they flower and set seed, you can actually prevent them from spreading. Also, if you wait too long, some weeds will develop deep tap roots that are very hard to pull. Now, a good tip before you pull the weeds is to thoroughly water your yard. This will make it a lot easier. Also, you can push a sharp spade or weed digger into the soil and angle it downward towards the plant center and loosen the soil around the plant. Then you can pry with the tool on the weed as you're pulling it with the other hand. Now, try not to break off any of the roots because any of the root pieces left underground may grow new plants. Now, you need to be very persistent in removing any of the new sprouts that do grow, and you'll eventually starve and kill the weeds, making for a nice looking yard. You know, the sign of a good remodeling job is where you can't tell the old from the new. The brick masons have done a very good job in utilizing some of our old bricks to be able to tie in all the old and the new. Also, the carpenters did a great job in the overhang, as well as the pitch of the roof is exactly the same as the original house. These are all very important elements anytime you're building onto your house.